Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books, and I have been covering Warner Brothers Discovery very carefully in these last few months, done more than 110 videos about everything to do with Warner Brothers Discovery. This is an interesting story that just came up. There are woke creators that are extremely angry at Warner Brothers Discovery yet again. Coming from IndieWire, Tuca and Bertie showrunners and others allege Warner Brothers Discovery's merger diminishes female POC series. The casualties of this mega merger include numerous projects created by, featuring, and or centering experiences of women and people of color, an addendum to a WGA report said. WGA, what is that? Well, this is the report. It is the Writers Guild of America. It is the Broken Promises Bulletin, how the Warner Brothers Discovery merger hurts workers and diversity. You know, the idea here is basically this. Warner Brothers Discovery is supposed to provide opportunities for people who have certain skin colors, they have certain backgrounds. They're not supposed to produce content for the idea of making money. They're not supposed to produce content for the idea of keeping people working, because if content or anything that you do in business doesn't actually make money, then you can't support all the other administrative jobs and people that do things. For example, if you create a ridiculous series like this one, Tuca and Bertie, which I'll admit I've never heard of before, and you want the animators to stay working, you've got to produce something that people actually want to see, they want to spend money on, they want to invest in, they want to put their time into, and if you don't produce that, you put the entire system in jeopardy. These woke creators seem to think that's okay, that's the important thing. The thing is that they get to create what they want. Now, this has a similarity to when I was in kindergarten and then maybe first, second grade. I would bring home artwork. My mom would put it on the refrigerator. We would talk about it. Other people would see it. And I will promise you this, there's not a thing that I ever drew or painted, finger paints, glitter, whatever it was, that my mother ever threw away. Because the most valuable thing that she would have in life are these cute little creations by her children. This is what these people seem to expect, these creators seem to expect, that everyone should just kowtow to them, honor everything that they just want to make. It doesn't matter how ridiculous, silly, or unappealing that it is. You know, I have published many things. I've published more than 1,000 comic books and come up with a lot of the ideas myself, collaborated with a lot of other creative people. There are things that I've come up with that just didn't go forward because it didn't do all that well. And then there are some things that did well, and we did a lot of them after they were successful. Some of the things I would have wanted to do more with, I didn't get a chance to, because it wasn't commercially viable. And that's just kind of reality. Otherwise, it's just like a pet project. It's a vanity project. It's a child's project that mom puts on the refrigerator. So you get a lot of pushback from Warner Brothers Discovery because they're in business to be in business. And they will take care of creators. And they will treat people right. There will be controversies. They're in business to be in business, to maintain their reputation and to try to make successful content. Not that if you come up with an idea of what is Tuca and Bertie, maybe it was actually a good concept, it was just a little bit offbeat. Tuca and Bertie is an American animated sitcom directed by cartoonist Lisa Hanawat for Netflix. Okay, so first it started on Netflix. It was too awful even for Netflix in 2019. It had one season. Netflix canceled it. And then the creator worked to try to get it onto Warner Brothers Discovery's outlet. Just so you understand what the property is, the show's title characters are two anthropomorphic birds who are friends living in the same apartment complex. Tuca Toucan and Roberta Bertie Song Thrush. Song Thrush, what's that? It's a kind of bird apparently. I'd never heard of it before. I'm not a bird guy. At the start of the series, Tuca had just ceased drinking alcohol. Okay, this is what the series is about. Tuca had just ceased drinking alcohol. To support herself, she often relies on various odd jobs for financial gain, or, to make money. At the same time, Bertie works at an office called Condé Nest, a play on Condé West, the publishing house, while also holding an apprenticeship job at a bakery. The series' main plot lines focuses, now this is the key part, on the protagonist's friendship and their struggles in adulthood, touching on themes such as alcoholism and sexual abuse. So this is what Warner Brothers Discovery is supposed to be risking their business on and denying other opportunities to creators who are serious about producing good commercial content. They're supposed to be producing Tuca and Bertie because they focus on alcoholism and sexual abuse. Why is that appealing? It's not appealing. It's refrigerator art. The complaints are, okay, Warner Brothers Discovery said that they would create more opportunity for underrepresented storytellers and independent creators. But less than a year later, the company has instead canceled, pulled, or written off $2 billion in content and laid off hundreds of workers, creating opportunity for storytellers, underrepresented, represented, the only way you create opportunity for them is by creating good commercial projects that people really want to invest their lives in, they want to see, they find compelling. You've got to get good at producing compelling content. The way you do that is you study, hopefully you get some mentorship, you work with other really talented people and you collaborate and you keep working really, really hard. And don't do it if you don't have a passion for it, because it's not necessarily the most rewarding work. Eventually you may or you may not break through. That's show business. It's not easy. From the creator of Tuca and Bertie, she says this in all seriousness. Quote, I originally created Tuca and Bertie for Netflix, but when they canceled it after just one season, we fought to get the series picked up at Warner's Adult Swim network. The women-led series had been a cult hit and a critical darling. The Warner's execs knew it needed advertising support and time to grow viewers in the male-dominated adult animation space. So let's just take a moment here. It was canceled after a year at Netflix. Supposedly there was a cult following. Well, sure, but not enough to actually make it viable for Netflix, which in 2019 would do any kind of woke content. They could care less. They didn't start cutting back on bad shows for long after that. But it's a women-led series. Warner execs knew that it needed advertising support because they had to grow viewers, because adult animation is male-dominated. They know this. They know that's the niche, which they hate to admit, by the way. They hate to admit that there are niches and categories of people that have different specific interests. And you have to respect those people and those interests if you want to provide something to them that's going to be successful. Of course it would need advertising support, meaning go hire a whole marketing team to sell something that you should never be trying to sell. Tuca and Bertie. Why would you be trying to sell this to advertisers? You're stealing their money. People don't want to watch this. But the merger went through right before this most recent season launched, and almost everyone who worked on the Tuca and Bertie marketing team was laid off. The Tuca and Bertie marketing team. So they actually picked up salaried people. This is a New York City company, Warner Brothers Discovery, okay? So you don't go working in New York City and get paid like, much less than $100,000 a year, even if all you're doing is selling Tuca and Bertie. So what sort of a big, massive marketing team should it really take to push this ridiculous cartoon show? Who green-lighted this, and why would they? If you know, put it in the comments below. Then several of the show's main executives at Adult Swim and HBO Max left in the turmoil. Planned marketing projects to promote the new season didn't happen. Planned marketing projects? How much money do you want Warner Brothers Discovery to invest in Tuca and Bertie? It's unlimited. It doesn't matter. It's my show. I want to do it. Put it on the refrigerator, Mom. Then we learn the show has been canceled. It's already harder for shows centered on women, and this merger cost us the support we needed to thrive. The support we needed to thrive. Just produce something people like, or if not, do something else with your time. This is from the creator of executive producer of Gordita Chronicles. Quote, I got into television to counter the negative mainstream stereotypes about Latino communities and tell stories like Gordita Chronicles. It's nice that that's why you wanted to go into the industry. So it doesn't mean because you feel like you want to do this as some kind of a social mission that all of a sudden guys like David Zaslav are going to write endless checks for you to support your excessive lifestyle as some sort of creator executive of some sort of successful or distributed TV show. It doesn't work that way. You know what's funny is you don't even hear any of the Tuca and Bertie people, Gordita Chronicles. They don't have to talk about the little people. What about the animators who are supposed to work on this, what looks to be terrible show? They're not going to have work, or they'll move on to something that's more successful. But it's all about them not being able to do whatever their social mission is, as if that social mission was something that was supposed to be paid for by Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, Warner Brothers Discovery did respond to this complaint from the Writers Guild of America, and there's going to be upcoming negotiations. There's an upcoming potential writer's strike. That happens in Hollywood every couple of years. Not a big deal. And they made a statement at Warner Brothers Discovery, which is, they always make good statements. They really know how to handle their publicity. And what they say essentially is, hey, look, we're going to be committed to facilitating greater inclusion of underrepresented groups. And what they do is they create opportunity. Of course, that's not enough for Tuca and Bertie creators. They don't want opportunity. They want handouts. They want opportunities at the exclusion of people that should have by merit had their opportunities. That is the problem. If you're worried about Warner Brothers Discovery going woke, it's not going woke. They may have content you don't like. They may have shows you don't like. Look, they did Velma. Velma's ridiculous. I've done a number of videos about Velma. Race-swapped Velma labeled woke garbage. HBO Max faces massive backlash. And it's true. It's true. It really is a bad show. They've destroyed the brand. They've reinvented it into something really, really weird. Is it going to be a success for them? I really don't know. And one of my concerns is if it is successful for them, they could do this to the rest of Hanna-Barbera cartoons they own. They own a lot of content. That's one of the issues at Warner Bros. Discovery. They own so much content, of course they can't put it all on HBO Max. But they're not doing anything with the Scooby-Doo property right now other than this. So they figure, all right, great, we'll just give it a shot and see what happens. But the wokies are melting down, and they're melting down because Warner Bros. Discovery refuses to waste money on content that nobody wants to watch. Let me know what you think of that in the comments below. Do you agree that there should be no money given to projects that they know are not commercially viable? Do you think that you should have to hire a marketing team to promote Tuca and Bertie? I'm sure that more successful shows do have marketing teams, but if you were in business, and look, it's not just David Zaslav's money or Santa Claus's money. This is investors' money. They have debts to pay. They have to get the stock up. So they're there to do business. Do you agree they should be there to do business? Or maybe they should be, a charity. Maybe they should give more money away and more opportunities away for things that people don't want to see. But why would you subscribe to HBO Max and pay for the subscription, but have content on it that you don't want to see? It just doesn't make sense. Just so that the Tuca and Bertie creators can feel good about themselves? They're fooling themselves. If they can't produce content people want, should it really even be there? Let me know what you think. Always like to see your comments. Please be sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.